Figure that I'm on my own, there's no sense for me to quit. What you saying, we don't know, I'm just trying to reach my goals. Heard you snitching, saying that so, you can't hang with me no more. What's up guys, Chris and I'm back with another amazing video, man. Now today, we got these cops lose it over a simple question. This is by Audit the Audit, posted 1 year ago and it already has 991,000 views. Original video link will be in the description, and without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. The video should not be construed for illegal advice.
Welcome to Audit the Audit, where we sort out the who and what and the right and wrong of police interactions. This episode covers state capitol security, obstruction, and special needs searches, and is brought to us by Auditing America's channel. Be sure to check out the description below and give them the credit that they deserve. Before we dive into the interaction, I want to give a big thanks to the sponsor of this episode, Raycon. Raycon's everyday
If y'all want to hear that, y'all might as well go ahead and go to the original video.
And video posted on August 5th, 2022. 2 First Amendment auditors attempted to enter the Georgia State Capitol building in Atlanta, Georgia. When Trooper Frazier of the Capitol Police Division of the Georgia Department of Public Safety, who was working at the security desk at the building's entrance, requested their identification, the auditors began to film the interaction.
Why would you need my ID?
Wow.
Yes.
Do you know what facility that you stepped into?
Absolutely.
All right, this is the Georgia Capitol building where they house the senator, the governor, the House representative, and it's ran by the troopers. So upon demand of your driver's license, as stated by the OCG.
First of all, look at his face. First of all, look at his face. This man right here has the main character complex down to a T. He has the main character complex down to a T, bruh. This man is having a moment right now. He waited his whole life to give this speech. Look at this. Look at the seriousness.
This is the Georgia Capitol building where they house the senator, the governor, the House representative, and it's ran by the troopers. So upon demand of your driver's license, as stated by the OCGA code, you produce it. You don't question it.
What about?
Now, by 5 seconds, about banning you from this building, and you will never come back here.
Oh, look at this. Look at his face, bro. He look like a black One Punch Man. Why is he staring at that man like that? That man got a problem. Look at him.
It's stated by the OCGA code, you produce it. You don't question it.
What about?
Now, by 5 seconds, about banning you from this building, and you would never come back here.
For
your driver's license or your ID, so I can scan it before you come across here.
Well, the thing is, I don't have it with me, sir. Okay. That's why I'm asking you.
Stand over here. Stand over here right now.
Hold on, but
sir, I'm telling you right now. I'm giving you an order.
Have I broken the law?
Yes, you are. You're breaking it right now. You are in a state bill. Keep over this line right now because you're crossing it without ID.
I'm not crossing. I'm right here.
Right here.
Okay, but
thank you.
Sir, you have to be nice. You don't have to talk to me like I'm a criminal.
Nice.
I'm not a criminal. Why are you treating me like that?
Because you're not listening. When I tell you to do something, you don't question it. Move before
Sir, what about our rights?
You don't have the right to walk into this building.
Yeah, we do.
But listen, without following the rules.
Well, the thing is, I already checked the rules, sir.
No, you didn't.
I don't mean to be rude to you in any way, officer, but I've been to at least 30 state capitol buildings in the past, and this is the first one that I get.
Georgia, and we take it seriously.
What about the Fourth Amendment? Do you take it seriously?
Yes, we do. As long as I'm working this station right here.
His face is killing me, bro.
Passports, identification, and so forth.
Trooper Frazier claims that it is against Georgia law to enter the state capitol building without identification. The Georgia State Capitol building is under the control of the Georgia Building Authority, which manages nearly 8 million square feet of state properties, including 32 buildings and more than 30 other properties. Section 35-2-121 of the Georgia Code created and established a division of the Georgia Department of Public Safety known as the Capitol Police Division. The statute states that the Department of Public Safety must staff this division with certified law enforcement officers who will serve as designated Capitol Police officers. Under Section 50-16-14 of the Georgia Code, quote, certified law enforcement officers of the Department of Public Safety are authorized and empowered to deny the entrance of any person into or upon any property or building of the Georgia Building Authority when the person's activities are intended to disrupt or interfere with the normal activities and functions carried on in such property or building, or have the potential of violating the security of the personnel therein. Likewise, the statute also authorizes and empowers officers, quote, to remove any person from any such property or building when the person's activities interfere with or disrupt the activities and the operations carried on in such property or building, or constitute a safety hazard to the property or building or the inhabitants thereof. The Department of Public Safety's website states that, quote, the Georgia State Patrol Troopers of Post 50 control the access into the state capitol by checking all state employees, guests, and other personnel for valid identification. They provide security for all elected officials, state employees, and guests at the state capitol. According to the state capitol's website, the Georgia Capitol is open to the public Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and, quote, all adults aged 18 and older must show a photo ID upon entering the capitol. The website also notes that, quote, in compliance with security regulations, visitors must enter the capitol through a metal detector. The x-ray machine must examine hand-carried items. Here, it appears that Trooper Frazier is a member of the Georgia Capitol Police Division who has been tasked with controlling access to the state capitol building. While there is no specific statute that requires an individual to show identification to enter the capitol building, there is clearly an established security procedure that requires visitors to provide their identification. We will discuss the constitutionality of this policy later in this episode, but based on Georgia law alone, it is likely that a court would conclude Trooper Frazier had the authority to require the auditors to show identification to enter the state capitol, and to deny them entry when they refuse to do so.
Yeah.
So this is what this is all about. Are you trying to?
We're trying to walk freely.
No. I don't know.
Ain't no walk freely. You gotta know the rules.
Come over here. Okay, I gave you instructions. Don't question the instructions. Just do what you're told to do.
We have the
Listen,
right to question.
Right now, I'm about to have some people come in. I'm gonna need you to step to the side.
Sure, we won't interfere here.
But that's the whole problem is that don't ask no questions. Just do what you're told. That right there, regardless of who you are, that's gonna ruffle some feathers. But see, like I said earlier, he has this main character complex with the faces, with the you know what I'm saying? Like he talking like he's speaking the word of God right now. The way he's speaking, like he talking like he's somebody daddy or something like that. And that's just simply not the case, bro. You over here to check IDs and grant access. You know what I'm saying? That's where your job starts and ends, bro. You do not hold the will of God, bro. You're not as powerful as you think you are, bro. I promise you, you're not. I get it, your security, but keep it cool, bro. You don't gotta sit up here and talk to people like they your kid, they like, you feel me? Like people get in these positions and they feel like they can talk to people any kind of way they want, and they can make it seem as if, you know, somebody is over somebody or under somebody. We all playing the same game, bro. Just because you get to, you know what I'm saying, do a couple things that I can't do, that don't make you better than me, bro. And so, you know, and he knows that, you know what I'm saying? Because officers, they're trained in speech. They're trained, you know what I'm saying, to be able to relay messages and persuade and be able to manipulate. And, you know what I'm saying? They go through that type of training, you know what I'm saying? So they know what to say and how to say it. But you see, you get these officers that go in and they get years under their belt, you know what I'm saying? They get experience, you know what I'm saying? And then they get to a certain point where, hey, yeah, I'm him. I can say whatever I want. And if you don't like it, I got somewhere I could take you. I got somewhere I could take you if you're not feeling it. You feel me? But yeah, it's just crazy how it works.
Sir, just wait on the proper person to come here.
No problem. Because I would love to show them the way that you greeted us.
That's fine.
And by the way, sir, there's...
Sir, stop talking to me.
No, sir, that's not how it works. We were nothing but courteous and professional as soon as we got here, and he said, you do not question my authority. We're just waiting for a supervisor. Is he coming?
Right, but you got to step right over here, sir.
You're giving us lawful orders, and if we don't, what happens? You know why I'm
get arrested.
You know why I'm gonna step over there? Because don't you touch me.
I'm not.
Okay, but don't you touch me. Don't you touch me.
Man, he wants control over the situation so bad. That's his problem.
Trooper Frazier orders the auditors to step outside the security entrance, and when they ask, he claims it is a, quote, lawful order. As mentioned earlier, Section 50-16-14 of the Georgia Code authorizes certified law enforcement officers of the Department of Public Safety to deny entrance to the Capitol building to an individual who has the potential to violate the security of building personnel. Additionally, according to Section 50-9-9 of the Georgia Code, quote, certified law enforcement officers employed by the Department of Public Safety shall exercise such powers and duties as are authorized by law to keep watch over and protect the property of the authority in that area designated as Capitol Square. Likewise, Section 35-2-122 of the Georgia Code states that the Capitol Police Division has, quote, the primary duty to enforce all laws in Capitol Square and the property and buildings owned by the Georgia Building Authority within a 5-mile radius of Capitol Square, and its additional duties include, quote, to maintain peace and order and enforce the laws and regulations relating to controlling access to any building or property under the control or operation of the Georgia Building Authority, and, quote, to maintain peace and order and enforce the laws and regulations relating to controlling access to Capitol Square. Although there is limited case law interpreting the scope of the Capitol Police Division's jurisdiction, given the broad statutory authority granted to the troopers to protect and control access to the Capitol building, it is certainly possible that a court would determine that Trooper Frazier could order the auditors to wait for a supervisor on the other side of the security entrance. Under Section 50-16-16 of the Georgia Code, quote, any person who refuses to obey any lawful order of any security personnel or law enforcement officer issued pursuant to Code Section 50-16-14, or any person who refuses to vacate any such property or building when requested to do so, shall be guilty of a misdemeanor. Similarly, Section 16-10-24 of the Georgia Code states that, quote, a person who knowingly and willfully obstructs or hinders any law enforcement officer in the lawful discharge of his or her official duties shall be guilty of a misdemeanor. In the 1978 case of Edmonds versus City of Albany, the Supreme Court of Georgia held that the, quote, willful failure or refusal to comply with a lawful order or direction of a police officer constituted a violation of a prior and near identical version of this statute, which stated that, quote, any person who knowingly and willfully obstructs or hinders any law enforcement officer in the lawful discharge of his official duties is guilty of a misdemeanor. Therefore, it is likely that if a court determined that Trooper Frazier was within his lawful authority to order the auditors to wait on the other side of the security entrance, it would also conclude that they could be convicted of obstruction if they refused to do so.
Sir,
Yeah.
with all due respect, you're a dangerous one. And by the way,
You're
we
a
have 100
dangerous
million
one.
views on the internet, punk.
Hi, gentlemen. How are you? Good. So we were trying to get in to the State House, and my friend doesn't have an ID. Gentleman started barking orders at us, so we just politely asked for a supervisor.
I'm about some barking orders.
Our Fourth Amendment rights trump any policy. Doesn't your oath to the Constitution uphold our
So
sacred oath?
No, if it,
searched to interrupt.
what are you? Oh God, this is where the whole like knowing your rights thing, it clashes with common sense, right? Knowing your rights tends to clash with common sense. You know, you don't get a pass because you have the Fourth Amendment rights, bro. That doesn't mean anything. The policy is there for a reason. You know what I'm saying? If the Fourth Amendment right would trump any policy, then the policy wouldn't be there because it wouldn't work. You would just be able to easily say, "Oh yeah, I got my Fourth Amendment right," and they'll just have to let you go. So what's the point in having the policy in the first place? The policy is put in place to stop you from entering the building if you do not have an ID. Last video that we seen from these guys, it was the cop that was tripping, but in this video, it's the auditors, bro.
A government building?
Well, sir, it's a people's building. It's just like any other building. I mean,
No, it's
if
not.
I go to your,
No,
if
it's
I go to
not.
your, that's different.
Why? To enter this building, you have to show an identification. Okay? If you do not have an identification, you cannot enter the building. If
Right.
you provide them a name and date of birth and they're able to positively ID you, that's who you say you are, then we allow you to enter. Okay? So that's it.
The last thing I would say to you, sir, and with the utmost respect, not only the Fourth Amendment, but the Supremacy Clause of the Constitution gives us the right. Over here, they can make any policy, but if that violates, this last thing I'll say, if it violates our rights, it is your duty to disobey that order, sir.
No.
What?
That's not. I understand
So
what
you
you're
took
saying.
an oath.
Are you
when you
talking
graduated.
about it is your duty to disobey that order? What? How you gonna tell the cops how to do the cop job? Stay out them law books, bruh. Stay out them law books. That's all I'm gonna say to you, whatever your name is, guy that's talking. Stay out the law books, bro. Stay out the law books, bro. I'm trying to tell you, bro, because you trying to sound smart and you're doing the opposite. You trying to sound
building.
smart.
Okay.
You
You're
can show
doing
an
the
ID.
opposite.
If you don't want to enter the building, you're not going to be allowed.
All right,
in.
well,
But can you,
Okay?
okay, but can you at least answer what he said?
The auditors claim that the Fourth Amendment and the so-called Supremacy Clause of the U.S. Constitution both require the sergeant to disobey the policy requiring individuals to identify themselves in order to enter the Capitol building. The
Word.
Supremacy Clause is found in Article 6, Paragraph 2 of the U.S. Constitution and states that, quote, "This Constitution and the laws of the United States which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made or which shall be made under the authority of the United States, shall be the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby, anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary notwithstanding." In general, this clause means that the federal Constitution and other federal laws take precedence over state laws, and as the Supreme Court held in the landmark 1803 case of Marbury versus Madison, it authorizes the practice of so-called judicial review, allowing courts to strike down laws that they determine to violate the Constitution. While the Fourth Amendment does protect, quote, "the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures," it does not guarantee citizens the right to avoid any searches or seizures that are not supported by reasonable suspicion or probable cause. Rather,
Right.
the Fourth Amendment only protects against searches and seizures that are deemed unreasonable under the law. As the Supreme Court summarized in the 1997 case of Chandler-Miller, quote, "To be reasonable under the Fourth Amendment, a search ordinarily must be based on individualized suspicion of wrongdoing, but particularized exceptions to the main rule are sometimes warranted based on special needs beyond the normal need for law enforcement." The court further explained that, quote, "When such special needs, concerns other than crime detection, are alleged in justification of a Fourth Amendment intrusion, courts must undertake a context-specific inquiry, examining closely the competing private and public interests advanced by the parties. In limited circumstances, where the privacy interests implicated by the search are minimal, and where an important governmental interest furthered by the intrusion would be placed in jeopardy by a requirement of individualized suspicion, a search may be reasonable despite the absence of such suspicion." The Supreme Court explored this exception further in the 2000 case of City of Indianapolis versus Edmond, where it determined that although the court had previously upheld, quote, "brief, suspicionless seizures of motorists at a fixed border patrol checkpoint designed to intercept illegal aliens and at a sobriety checkpoint aimed at removing drunk drivers from the road, a similar so-called narcotics detection checkpoint violated the Fourth Amendment because its, quote, "primary purpose was to detect evidence of ordinary criminal wrongdoing and was, quote, ultimately indistinguishable from the general interest in crime control." However, in reaching this decision, the court clarified that, quote, "Our holding does not affect the validity of border searches or searches at places like airports and government buildings, where the need for such measures to ensure public safety can be particularly acute. Given this precedent, it is likely that a court would conclude that the requirement that an individual show identification as part of a security screening process to be granted entry to the Georgia Capitol building does not violate the Fourth Amendment, and therefore
Right.
the Supremacy Clause would not cause the policy to be supplanted by the Constitution.
If you want to enter the building, show an ID. If you don't, you can walk away.
All right.
Last
Do-
question for
Simple
my
enough.
friend.
I'm done
just
talking
last
to y'all.
question. Do you know what the Third Amendment
I'm
is?
not talking to y'all anymore, okay?
Do you know
Of course he
briefly
knows
what
what
it's
the
about?
Third Amendment
Tell
is.
us about it.
Sir, I'm not required to know it.
Okay. I don't have to sit here and entertain you.
What about my Fourth Amendment?
You have a
Wait, hold on, 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 wait. Did he just ask the cop, "Do you know what the Third Amendment is?" And then when the cop asks the same question to him, he goes, "I'm not required to know it." Sounds like you don't know it. It sounds like you don't know it. And you trying to fact check him on something that you don't know. How you gonna fact check a literal law enforcement officer, a supreme law enforcement officer, because he literally works at the Capitol State Building? You gonna fact check him on something you don't know? Get the man.
Know briefly what it's about?
Tell us about it.
Sir, I'm not required to know it.
Okay.
All right
have to
then,
sit
so
here and
shut
entertain
up.
you.
Like,
What about my Fourth Amendment?
You have a Fourth Amendment.
Not in the public, not in a public place. Apparently,
It's not a
no.
public
You
place. That
want
is a
my ID
Capitol
without,
building.
without me committing a crime. There's no reasonable, articulable suspicion that I've committed a crime.
Nobody said you committed a crime.
So there's no crime, no ID. What about my
I would
private
have walked
documents?
off on him, bruh.
After their conversation with the sergeants, the auditors decided to identify themselves in order to be admitted to the Capitol building and return to the security desk. After they provided their information to
Look at him now, he's smiling ear to ear.
Security checks.
Let
He
me get
advised
that
the auditors
ID.
that they were free to enter the building. It is unclear whether the auditors intend to take any further action regarding the incident. Overall, Trooper Frazier gets a C-, because although he was likely within his authority to demand the auditor's identification as part of the security screening process for the Georgia Capitol building,
He ain't had to be
displayed
rude.
a hostile and aggressive demeanor throughout the encounter and barked orders at the auditors instead of attempting to engage in productive communication. Now, while I
Right.
understand Trooper Frazier's frustration and appreciate his commitment to the security process, it is imperative that officers behave professionally and respectfully when faced with challenging situations and individuals. Trooper
Right,
Frazier
that man
also
looked like he was
struggled to
he
articulate
looked like
the
he was about to
least-
take his belt off and get the whipping on something. Like, why he over here staring at them like his face all scrunched up? Like, what's wrong with him, y'all?
that authorized him to identify the auditors and misrepresented the law on several occasions, such as when he claimed that state law required individuals to carry identification at all times, and that the law did not allow individuals to question a police officer's orders. In general, Trooper Frazier could certainly benefit from additional training, both on
He needs some
professionalism
therapy. That's what he
and the
needs. He
limits
look
of
like
his
he going
legal
through
authority.
something.
The auditors
He must be
also
going
get a
through a divorce. His kids not listening to, you know what I'm saying? Like, he got to be having something going on. Ain't no way he over here just constantly just frowned up all day. He needs some help.
minus, because while they maintained a polite and respectful demeanor through most of the interaction, they also demonstrated a fundamental misunderstanding of the limits of the Fourth Amendment's protections and refused to recognize the officer's legal authority to maintain the security of the Capitol building and protect the government officials working inside it. The auditors repeatedly claimed that they should be granted unfettered access to the Capitol because it was the so-called People's Building. But the Georgia Capitol also houses the offices of the governor, lieutenant governor, and Secretary of State, as well as the state Senate and House of
So
Representatives.
anything happens to them, it's gonna be some problems. Anything happen to them is gonna shock the nation. Not shock the nation. Well, probably will shock the nation. You know what I'm saying? We don't need nothing happening to them.
It is more than reasonable for the Capitol Police to screen the identities of the individuals who entered the building where these important government officials work. And as the events of January 6, 2021 demonstrate, security for these types of government buildings is something that should be taken seriously. While I admire the auditors' desire to fight against government overreach and champion constitutional rights, I would encourage them to devote some time to studying and understanding the legal principles they were seeking to extol before conducting further audits. Let us know if there is an interaction or legal topic you would like us to discuss.
Yeah, man. So if y'all want to be out here trying to, press government officials, y'all want to be out here trying to press these cops and stuff like that, you at least got to know what they don't know. If you're going to say they don't know something, you got to know it. You got to know it, bruh. That's why I don't get into no arguments with nobody about nothing, because there's probably something about whatever we're going to talk about that I don't know. So I would much rather have a debate than an argument. Because an argument is spontaneous, you know what I'm saying? It's going to just happen out of nowhere. I'm unprepared. I don't got no lines ready for you. I don't got nothing, you feel me? But a debate, I can sit there and I can research and I can, you know what I'm saying? I can come back at you with some, you feel me? And I'll win, you feel me? But an argument, I ain't going to win that, man. So just stay in your lane, man. But if you guys like this video, it's pretty cool. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on the post notifications. Share this video with all of your friends. And until next time, guys, peace out. Y'all like how I wrapped that out to you like that? You know what I'm saying? You feel? I got this so memorized now. I could do it again if I really want me to. Y'all want me to do it again? If you guys like this video, it's pretty cool. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on the post notifications. Peace out, y'all.
Back against the wall, I never fall, I'm tryna get involved. All the haters get dissolved. Yeah, I know I piss them off. Run up on your whip and throw a cocktail, Molotov. Shawty say I'm super suave, I'm like, that's my brother name. This ain't no Nintendo 64, look girl, I'm not a game. People told me they would be there for me, but they never came.